Hello, everyone. I'm certified natural healthcare practitioner Erin Thole, and I'm really excited because we have my client Stacey Houston here today to share her story, which I'm very, very excited for her to share this with the world because she's had quite an incredible journey. And I think this can be really, really helpful to a lot of people who are struggling with very similar things. So thank you so much for your courage and bravery, Stacey. I know this is kind of it's a very intimate, conversation that we're having. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for
Welcome.
having me.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you for being on. So today I just want to kind of talk about your story, how you came to me, what you were struggling with, all of that good stuff. So do you want to kind of fill us in on what was going on with you at that time?
Yeah, that sounds good. So, somebody I knew from church had told me about you and she was meeting with you. This was a couple of years back. And then, about a year and a half ago is when I started meeting with you. And at that time, I was just needing to get to the root cause of some depression and anxiety I've been experiencing. Well, I should say it was extreme at that time.
Yeah.
Um, so extreme depression and anxiety with some suicidal ideation that was at its highest, and um, so much help I was getting. I was getting some great therapy, which I have continued to do and been doing for many years. But during that time was I was doing so many other things that unfortunately I wasn't getting any long-term success with. And pretty big things like ketamine infusions and TMS and things to try to help. But I knew there was something more going on, and there had to be something more going on because all these things I was trying just weren't working. And
Yeah. Yeah. And you'd even like taken leave off of work and
yeah, yep,
stuff
I was
like
on a
that. So it was
3 month personal leave. Yep.
pretty extreme,
Mm-hmm.
to
Yep.
be in that place. So
Yeah, it was very extreme. And yeah, and honestly, the time just felt like I was barely surviving. And I it was super tough. So being able to just make the commitment to find somebody who could walk alongside of me who has the knowledge and experience to help me get to the root cause. So then that's what brought me to you.
yeah.
And yeah, yep, so that's how it started.
Yeah, it was I mean, we've been working together for like you said, a year and a half-ish now.
Yep.
Um, and it's been a journey. And I remember in the beginning, your anxiety was just so deep rooted, because you wanted so badly to get better, and rightly so. Like I wanted that badly for you as well. But it was like those stepping stones. I was having to remind you, like, look at this good thing that happened, look at this good thing that
Mm-hmm.
happened, like give you that encouragement so you could see, like, yes, you are making headway, and it's not something that you just like wake up one day and you're like, everything's better, like that's a struggle because you had also had gastric bypass and
Mm-hmm.
some digestive, imbalances because of that. And then, you have more of those brain chemicals in your gut than you do in your head, which is why the gut is often referred to as the second brain. And so we were kind of unwinding a few different things to really get to the root of the issue, because we had to address like the hormonal things and the digestive things and just like nourishing your body. And I think when we did your first hormonal panel and we saw what was going on there with your sex hormones and things like that, and I was like, this makes so much sense. Like your estrogen's doing this and your testosterone's doing that. And like, this is why, like, this is a huge part of the why for you. And I remember that appointment and you just kind of being like, oh my God, I feel so validated. Like it's actually like on this piece of paper, like telling me you're not crazy. Like this is real. It's not just in your head. Like there's a physiological reason for it. And I think that
Yeah.
that was probably one of the breakthrough moments for us, like in our client practitioner relationship was going over that particular panel.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah, because when you,
yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna
no,
say?
I was just gonna say, yeah, because I was waking up every morning at 3 a.m. with such intense anxiety waking me up, and just like, why, and so it's learning all of these things with these panels, and then also learning about my nervous system, which I've been able to learn a lot from you,
Mm-hmm.
and just what it needs, and
Yeah.
taking care of itself. And
So what kinds of things are you doing for your nervous system now?
a lot of breath work, a lot of just um and tapping. So that's what I was doing a lot when I was waking up, was the
Yep.
tapping and just having the visualization of something that brings me calmness and happiness, having that first, because when you're waking up and you're feeling it, you're still waking up yet feeling it. So it's trying to do something that I'm able to do while I'm half awake and yet feeling this super anxiety. So things that are calming, and that's helping. So the breathing, yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge for me.
Yeah, you're doing the work. And I know that
Mm-hmm.
it has not always been easy. But you're determined. And I think that that is one of the things that is the most inspiring, like in working with you, is you're not afraid to try things on and just like go for it and do it. And see how it can help you because of the state that it's like, if you're at rock bottom, like the only place that you can go is up. So I might as well give this a try,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
every success that you're noticing, you're like, okay, this is a reason to keep going with it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the dietary changes, lifestyle changes that you've made in our time together? Let's talk about
Well,
this.
right off the bat, we did the food sensitivity. So I
Mm-hmm.
learned all about that. And so then eliminating those things that my body was sensitive to and not liking. And I learned a lot about myself in that, because it just started connecting the dots with that. So eliminating, so the biggest thing for me was tomatoes. And so much of my diet had some form of tomato in it.
Yeah.
And I love tomatoes. So that was a big adjustment. Um, and we're a big tomato sauce and pizza, just all of those things.
It's in a lot of things. You don't even really
Yeah,
think about it.
it
Yeah.
really is. It really is. And so then I also went gluten free, and eliminated like refined sugars. If I do any type of sweet baking, which I hardly ever do anymore, I use coconut sugar or honey.
Yeah.
And yeah, so taking out inflammatory oils. So I've done just a broad span of things, and basically just really being in tune with my body and listening, and basically learning that what I eat today affects me not only maybe later today, but tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like I get side effects tomorrow morning, so that's really when my body will tell me. And so I really process. So I think a lot about what I eat. And what I really appreciate is in the beginning when you and I had started meeting, just because I know the way my brain is wired, and to think about going gluten free and eliminating all of those things right off the bat brought on so much anxiety for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and to just think of like lots of anxiety equals just wanting to quit, So right off the bat, like me being honest with you and sharing with you, this is how my brain's wired. This is how I'm, and you just saying, let's do baby steps,
Mm-hmm.
was just so good for me, because the longevity of like over a year and a half out now, it's like, it's been I'm continuing to live that lifestyle, which has been
Yeah.
really good. And I would say too, is what I've learned a lot is how food affects my mental health. So what I choose to eat. So those things that I've learned is that gluten and sugar agitate depression and anxiety in me.
Mm-hmm.
Those things. Um, so learning that, and I think like you and I have talked about before, especially back with the holidays and stuff, was like, I've always been a person where if I wanted to eat the cookie, I was going to eat the cookie. But the difference is now having the brain set or the mindset to know, like, obviously I can still eat the cookie if I want to eat the cookie.
Yeah.
But it's the difference of how do I want to feel. And when it comes to my mental health and I've been in such a low spot, like I don't want that cookie. I don't want to agitate that. I want to, take care of my mental health and my body. And that's probably the biggest thing is learning that what I'm eating affects that.
Yeah. I think that's huge. And I think that a lot of times people have a fear of what they're going to uncover and what they're going to have to give up and stuff like that when they start this journey and this process. But I always want to encourage people to not look at it from the negative aspect of like, what am I giving up? What am I losing? But what are you gaining? Like by making these changes, what are you gaining? And that perfection is an illusion. And we've talked about that a few times, and that I'm going to give you the tools, I'm going to give you the resources, I'm going to give you like, here's what your body is telling us. But that doesn't mean that you have to jump into the pool on the deep end and just like, okay, today I'm cutting out 900 different things and I'm going to work out every day and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Like today, nobody does that. Like we have to wade into the pool, and everyone's wading into the pool looks a little bit different. It just kind of depends on what they're able to take on at that point in time, depending on their overwhelm limit, and things like that. So yeah, taking baby steps and knowing that you're not going to mess up. If you have the cookie and then you feel awful, well, you learn something from that, right? So then maybe next time you have a gluten-free cookie, or you don't have a cookie at all, or, choose something else or whatever it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is in this journey I've been in, it's just like, we're all different and what we all need is different. So people who are close to me see certain things that I choose not to eat. And it's just, well, we got to focus on what your body needs and what your body tells you. My body's different, and that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. We're all different. We all are, have a different health history, and that kind of really feeds into what your body can and can't handle, is that health history and stuff like that. So what have been the biggest helpers, do you think, like on this journey where you're like, oh, I need that, otherwise, everything's down the tubes kind of thing?
I think it just for me is celebrating, like you said, like what I do get to do, like celebrating all of the wins and focusing like my whole body, my mind, mentally and physically, that it all matters and that I'm worth it and to do the work, because I just don't know any other way but to do the hard stuff. I continue to do the hard stuff and celebrating in all of it. Just
Good.
I have a husband who's amazing and he's super supportive. We give a lot of high fives and all the things and all the successes because it's huge. I mean, even getting out of bed in the morning, making it to work, it all counts. It all matters.
Yep.
And I will also say too is celebrating in because in the beginning there was a lot of tears. It was a lot of hardness, and I've gotten to where now, I mean, it's almost fun, like even when we travel, to research where we're going to be, what kind of places we want to eat at, and
Yeah,
so it's turned into
explore.
something that's fun. Like I don't have to feel restricted. We're finding there's so many options out there. There really is. There's so much good
There
stuff.
are, and I really appreciate you bringing that up, because a lot of times people think when they are changing the way that they eat, the first word that comes to mind is restriction. Like now I can't have this, I can't do this. It is so easy to be gluten-free these days. It's so easy. Like any decent restaurant that you go to, the staff has had training on allergies and, food contamination and things of that nature now. So you can go anywhere and find something gluten-free. And then if you're in, if like you're going on vacation and stuff like that, a lot of times those vacation destinations will have healthier restaurant options and things that are fun. So it's not just like, here's my chicken breast and here's my, broccoli or whatever it is, so you can still find fun things. You can still explore. You can still be adventurous with your food while sticking to what your body needs and honoring what your body is telling you. And so I'm glad that that's a process that you've embraced and you've learned that, oh yeah, this isn't as hard. Now in the beginning, it's a little bit hard because it's new, like anything new, it's going to be a little challenging, of course, but you get into a rhythm with it and you've done fantastically well with just like taking it all in stride and seeing the positive, like your mindset, which is kind of silly, like funny that we're talking about. It's like your mindset is what helped you, but your mindset is what, we were really working on, but you still, through all the depression and the anxiety, you still had like a positive outlook on like yourself, like you believed in yourself and your body's ability to turn it around and figure out the why and get to that happy place again. So I'm super proud of you. Like you've done such amazing work. So
yeah, it's been good. It's been nice to see the journey. Like you and I talk about the journey, like even where I was last winter or even this last summer, all the things I was able to do versus the summer before, which was a summer where I didn't do as much, but my body was healing. I needed more downtime. I didn't have as much energy to give.
yeah.
And so, yeah, it's nice. It's been really cool. And one thing I always say too, like when I remind my husband, it's like, when we talk about feeling better or doing better, I kind of like to say, like, my better is like on a scale where it's like I'm better than I was, lots better, and I'm still on the journey, still learning what my body needs. And so it's a reminder, like, to those people who are our main supports in life, to say, even though I say I'm better, I'm doing better, still ask me how I'm doing. Like, where am I on the scale?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm so much better than I was, and still have some work to do. We're still on the journey.
Yeah. And I think that is, just one of those things where we're always learning, we're always growing. And if you ever think that you're done, learning or growing, like, what are you doing with your life? Like we always have to continue to learn and grow. And you've also been like losing weight steadily, like through this whole process, which has been awesome. Because I know that was kind of like a secondary thing. You're like depression, anxiety. Oh, by the way, I also want to lose some weight and stuff like that. So, and I remember when we first talked, it was like, okay, well, we're getting your body into balance. We're correcting all of these issues within your ecosystem and with your hormones and things like that. A natural byproduct of that is going to be the weight loss, So, and you're still continuing to experience that, a pound a weekish kind of thing, which is fantastic because I don't want you losing, I don't want anybody losing like 10 pounds in a week, 20 pounds in a month or something like that, We want to make sure that we're going slow and steady so we're not messing up your metabolism, losing muscle. We want to make sure that we're being patient and honoring the natural process of how the body loses weight. So,
yeah, yep, yeah, it's been going good. My energy level's increasing, and that helps when you're not carrying around the extra weight. And so,
and you're
yeah, it's
walking.
a nice byproduct.
Yeah, for sure. And you're having a very mild winter in Minnesota, so you're walking a lot, which is
been able to do
great.
some walking. Yep, which is not normal for me in January and February weather in Minnesota to go out walking. So that's been good. Just getting out with my husband, and it's moving the body. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, you're really living life to the fullest now, it sounds like. So I'm very, very happy for you. Yeah, you're doing great. Is there anything that you want to share with people about your experience, your journey, any tidbits of information, anything like that?
Oh, I think the biggest thing for me is finding those supportive people, whether it's a significant other or a good friend, somebody you can communicate with, like my husband is for me, and to be able to communicate needs, because that's it too. It's like, and he's so great at, we're going out to eat someplace new, he'll get on the website and look at the menu for me, see what kind of things I can eat. So it's being able to communicate is so important, because I mean, if we don't communicate how things are making us feel and what we need, then those other people in our life don't know, can't
Mhm.
support us to the best of their ability. So that's a key for us, for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's really huge. And I'm glad you said that because I feel like a lot of people, I have to remind them of that because they want to keep everything a secret. I'm just going to do this. And if I don't tell anybody, then I don't have to talk about it and then no one will know. And then they're like, oh, well, then we went out to, this place or that place, or we were at this event or that event and there wasn't anything I could eat. And so then I was starving. I'm like, well, say something. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you don't vocalize your needs, nobody's a mind reader. Like they're not going to be able to
Yeah.
know that you're doing something different. And so they're not thinking about what your needs might be.
Yep.
So you need to say something,
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
huge. Yeah. We have
Mhm.
another couple, we call them our besties, another couple we spent a lot of time with. And I mean, there was one time we went to a restaurant, we up four of us sat down and Shane's looking at the menu. We didn't research it ahead of time at this particular place. And he's looking, he's like, is there anything here? I mean, because always for me, it's like, they're going to have a salad. At least I can eat a salad, you know? This particular restaurant, it's like, well, I need some protein in the salad. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really bare minimum. And so it was, my first reaction was to be like, I'll be fine, you know? And then my husband just looks at me and he's like, I don't know that you will be. And so then I was able to just be like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be fine. Can we go someplace else? And we did. We got up and just went
That's
and found
awesome.
someplace else to eat that was better, that she eats similarly to me as well. And so it's like, why put ourselves through, being uncomfortable the rest of the day, or
Yeah.
we need what we need, so we just got up and found a someplace else that could give us what we needed, and just be okay with that.
Yeah. And that, I mean, the people that care about you and, love you and stuff like that, they want you to be successful. They want you to be happy. They want you to be healthy. And if there are people that are, giving you a hard time about the changes that you're making and things like that, it says, and we talked about this before, it says more about them and their
Mm-hmm.
issues and their, struggles, inner struggles, than it does about you.
Yeah.
Like you need to stay true to yourself, and people that are truly supportive and loving and things like that are going to be like, oh, there's nothing for you to eat here. Well, then the point of being here is to eat. So if
Yep.
you can't do that, then
Mm-hmm.
let's head on out, and go
Yeah.
somewhere else. So those are
Yeah.
those are the types of people that you really want to be
Yeah.
surrounded by.
Yeah,
Support.
and it feels good. Yeah, it feels good. You feel empowered and supported and loved, and that's what we
Yeah.
need. I mean, it's good stuff. So
Yeah. And it's not that big of a deal. It's really not that big of a deal to be like,
yep.
oh, let's pick someplace else. There's a
Mm-hmm.
million restaurants on this street. Like, let's
Yep.
go somewhere else. So
Exactly.
yeah, I think once people get over that mindset of like, ooh, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to be difficult, kind of thing. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
be different.
Yep.
Everybody's different. Everybody's got something. Like your first responsibility is to yourself, first and foremost, not to
Absolutely.
everybody else's comfort level. It's, to you. So yeah, I'm glad that you're speaking up. I'm glad that you have a support system. That's fantastic. That's very
Yeah.
good. Yay. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Stacey. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
You're
I'm hoping
welcome.
that this is helpful to others out there, because I don't think that this is a uncommon thing. Like, this is a pretty common struggle. I see this frequently
Yeah,
in my practice.
yeah.
So
Yep, it's so important to talk about our mental health and what we need, and yeah, because it's just, yeah, it's important.
it's very important, very important. Well, thank you so much for being here and being brave
You're
and
welcome.
all of that. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
If anybody is wanting to reach out and book a free phone consultation, all of my details are going to be below the video. For how to get a hold of me, you can email me, you can go to my website, erinthole.com, and request a free consultation there as well. And we can get you on your journey to feeling your best.